Incoming.
Hey, Bunker family. It is Burke here with Matt Rendar from the Bunker. Today we're going to be talking about Matt. He's an artist, he's a retired NYPD detective, and he's got a lot of cool stuff when it comes to the gaming world, which, I'm a nerd, so I like to talk to these guys about nerd stuff. So, Matt, if you want to give us a quick introduction, kind of where you came from, where you were as a vet, and tell us a lot about your NYPD work. That looks extremely interesting.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on the show. So my handle's Matt Rendar. It was like an alias for a while because I was in law enforcement, but my real name's Matt Klein. I grew up on Long Island, New York, and grew up artistic family. My dad was a animator for Warner Brothers and Disney, worked in that field, so I grew up with that whole art background. But once again, it was like a feast and famine thing, so I wasn't sure about it, but I always did it as a hobby. 9/11 cooks off to me growing up with my grandfather served in World War II as a dive bomber pilot, and his brother was shot down and killed over Romania. So I grew up with that whole military like background, like listening to all the stories. 9/11 to me was Pearl Harbor. I wanted to get in the fight. I enlisted in the Army in the infantry. I ended up going with 3rd Infantry Division. I missed the initial invasion, but I got there later in April for Operation Iraqi Freedom as a replacement. Was there for a couple months, not much action at all. Came back, did a bunch of training, went up for my second deployment in 2005. It was Operation Record 3, did that, and had a wild deployment. Ended up getting out, and I took the NYPD test, and 3 months after an ETSing, I rolled right into the NYPD Police Academy, became a cop for like about on the street. I was about for 8 years, and then I found out about this unit called the Sketch Artist Unit, where you draw like the wanted posters. I didn't even know it existed. So a friend of mine introduced me to the unit, and I interviewed for it, did well, thank God, and got picked up, and then rolled into that and became a sketch artist for the NYPD in the Detective Bureau. I did all the wanted posters and interviewed all the people like murders, homicides, rapes, all types of stuff, and did that. And then the final part, the final chapter of me is I just started doing my artwork online. A friend told me, put your stuff on Instagram. It's a great resource. So like about 2018, I started putting all my art out there and made a little brand called Battle Tribe, which would encompass all the stuff I like and everything. And that blew up. Retired from the NYPD in January 1st of 2023, and just been hanging out, freelancing, and doing art and all the stuff I love, enjoying life.
And you
That's
do a
me.
lot of stuff for like authors and their books and stuff, right? Because I was reading about your guy Christian Craig said he did his
Yeah.
book. You did all the work for him.
Yeah. So, social media, it's got a lot of negatives and stuff you always hear, but there's so many positives. The world is so small. So, a good friend of mine, Christian Craighead, everybody knows him from the Nairobi incident. Awesome guy, but I did some artwork. I did literally like the attack went down. The next day, I did like a cool piece of artwork, and it hit a lot of traction. He ended up reaching out to me. And he's like, "Hey, mate, I'm gonna be in New York. This stuff's awesome." So we went out for beers and been friends ever since. And he had a project. He was like, "Oh, are you interested in this project?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude." So that was the one thing too, is like very fortunate to be retired. I had like this giant bucket list. Like a lot of the art I do is my bucket list. Like, what do I want to do? I want to design an album cover. One of my friends has a band. Boom, design the album cover. I wanted to do merchandise. I wanted to do this. I wanted to write a children's book. So, that's definitely on the bucket list. He reached out to me, and we did the book. It's a children's book called The Last Wolf, The Wrong Wolf, my bad. And he announced it on Sean Ryan's show. Really cool. And just another cool friendship from social media and the veteran community.
Yeah. What's you have the book? Did you read it?
Yeah. So it was a
I'm gonna
cool
have to go.
collaboration. Like he literally calls me up and he's like, "Hey mate," he's like, "Yo, I got this crazy idea." I'm like, "All right, what's up?" He's like, "I was in the gym and I had this idea for like this children's book. Not to get into all the drama with it, but like he wrote a story about what happened in Nairobi, and the British military is really having a problem with him putting it out. So he had another idea to kind of like, and it's got some very parallels to his story in Nairobi, but it's meant for children. So he's like, "I have this idea, would you be able to do it? I would like to get it done by this day." And I was like, "Yo, dude, like I could totally do that, but I'm going away." I was going to the Caribbean for like 2 weeks. So I was like, I got like 2 weeks before that because he wanted to get it done a certain date. So I was like, yeah, no problem. So he sent me the whole story. And I was like, "Listen, what you do is just, I don't care how chicken scratch or whatever, but like, just give me like a template of like like a little stiff figure, like I want the wolf doing this, doing that. So every day we were just jamming it out. So I did all the pictures, and he was really like he had like a really good vision, and it was so everything I drew was very close to exactly what we wanted, like a couple minute changes, but we were able to get all the artwork done. So I forget, it was like 50 something pages, but it was a lot of work, but totally worth it. And then he went and published it, and now it's out there.
I have to go pick up a copy. I don't even know a bookstore here, to be honest with you, though. I don't even know if I have a bookstore here, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on
Oh no,
Amazon.
okay, there we go. I'll
Yeah, yeah.
get it tomorrow.
The
All
wrong
right,
wolf,
tell me.
man.
Here we go. Going to the nerd stuff. Sorry,
Go
everybody.
ahead. No, it's all good.
Tell me about Red Jungle.
So, so once again, I have a bucket list of a million things I wanted to do, and I'm a huge war gamer ever since. So I grew up in the '80s. I had like Hero Quest and Battle Masters, and then growing up, it was like it's so funny how like it's okay to be a nerd now. Like back in the
Oh yeah,
day,
it's cool now.
it was not cool, man. Like I had my Warhammer book in like my backpack, and I would like pull it out during study hall, and, like close it, put it away. So I've always been like a big war gamer, just into that whole genre and everything. So I wanted to come up with a game. So and it's everything's accessible now. You can your creativity. There's so many tools out there and like how to. So what I'm gonna do, I had an idea to do like a skirmish game where it's like a paranormal universe. So what happens is the story takes place. It's 1969 in Vietnam, and I'm a huge fan of the history of Vietnam and like Mac v. Sog. So the story is Mac v. Sog is doing missions into Cambodia and Laos. So the science fiction part is a giant alien ship appears out of nowhere, and Soviet fighters are in the air and they see this thing and they're like, "What the hell?" So they start engaging it. So this alien ship that's flying over Cambodia tries to jump to light speed to jump out of there, has an accident and makes a giant what do you call it? Has a giant what do you call it? Like portal warp opens up and it makes like a whole sphere of like another dimension, and the ship crashes inside the jungle. So now there's like this giant glowing orb like other dimensions. So MacV Sog is like, what the hell? So they walk through it and they're in this other parallel universe now. So the Russians find out about it, the NVA find out about it. So all these and then mercenary factions, all these different factions actually go inside. So it's pretty much like a hellish dimension, but there's alien wreckage in there and there's technology and stuff. So all these people want to get in there and get it. But also too, there's creatures, there's all like Cthulhu, demons, and all types of wacky shit that goes on there. Dinosaurs are running around. There's all this crazy stuff and like the technology they get out of it. So like Matthew Side gets like different stuff out and they start researching it and they come out with like new goggles and weaponry and stuff. So everybody's just fighting in this parallel dimension. And then also too, if you're exposed to it, this warp rift in time, you start to mutate and become zombies. So it's
I
just
was about to
like,
say it looks pretty
yeah,
zombie.
yeah, it's pretty so there's all the types of wacky stuff in there. But it's a cool idea and I've been play testing it. So I wrote the rules out and I've been doing the artwork and there's another guy that I'm friends with he reached out to me on social media. He's like, "Hey, I want to do the miniatures for it." So he's doing all the miniatures. So you have all like MacV Sog and Spetsnaz and NVA and then zombies and different creatures like the there's werewolves that the Soviets have. So they got the technology to make werewolves and stuff. So it's just a really cool, like a grindhouse, 1960s Vietnam parallel game. So it's going to
So
come out on Kickstarter.
does it come out like kind of like Warhammer where you get the pieces and you paint them yourself, or does it come kind of all put together already?
It's going to come. So there's going to be like two Kickstarters. I'm doing the rule book, and the rule book has all the stats and the rules on how to play and everything. And you can use any models you want. If you only can use plastic green army men, or if you want to use your own Warhammer guys, or you want to use the other guy that's doing the miniatures. He's Austin Miniatures. He's doing guys like MacV Saw guys and everything. And then there's other companies too that you can use. So it's pretty much the world is your oyster. There's so many outlets, and you can kind of just think. But the great thing about the game is it plays on like a 3 foot by 3 foot space that could fit on your table, and you only need like 10 to 15 figures. So it's a real small thing, and it's not like hardcore tactical, but it is pretty violent. You have to make decisions and stuff on the table. Like guys get hit, they go down really quickly and stuff. But really, it's gonna be a cool thing. It should be coming on Kickstarter in the next 2 months. So I've been just doing a lot of promotional stuff for it and design work.
So I got turned on to Matt when I was scrolling around. We'd see all these vet pages because everything we do is no vet related. So I saw the Scooby Doo guys pulling the mask off the dude, and
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny, man. And
It's
he's
so
got
funny.
this cool picture of a, I guess it's a video, and the Mystery Machine's a Bradley fighting vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
love
so
it, man.
it's so funny. Yeah, that like it's so funny. Like I get like the spark. I'll just be walking to the grocery store. I'm like, aha, I got this idea. And I'm like, because that oh, I think it's a meme with him pulling the mask off and stuff, and sometimes people will
Yeah,
insert faces. So I was like, what happens if I do them as like GWAT, you know,
Saddam
Operation
Hussein.
Raccoon One Delta guys, and Saddam's getting the mask ripped off. So I put it up there, and it's so funny. Like, some people get like really offended, and like, well, 'cause my page is open, so I get a lot of different points of view and stuff. But it definitely sparked the initial. I posted it last year. People, they really dug it. It was pretty well. And then I did with the Bradley and stuff like that. But it's the one thing that's funny is like, so I did the Bradley blowing up like T-72s and stuff like that. The people that chime in and are like, it's impossible. You can't. I'm like, it's a cartoon, dude.
It's Scooby Doo.
Like
It's the Mystery Machine.
nothing I do. I do the thing rule of cool. I just do it because it looks cool. There's nothing like serious. There's no under meaning and stuff. I just do things that are funny, and it's funny to see people's positive and negative reactions to it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but except it does like that. Bradley destroying that T-80 in Russia. Like it
Oh
can
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
It can happen.
yeah, 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 man. I tell you that conflict's showing a lot of wild
Yeah,
stuff that nobody had any clue even it would happen.
yeah. I started watching company Foreign Legion. They have their own
Mm,
documentary on YouTube now, and they have like I don't know, probably 8 to 10 episodes out, and it kind of focuses on like one battle at a time. So it'll be like it'll follow like them from the planning of the assault all the way through like the completion of the assault, and then they like kind of like talk about how it went or whatever. And they have video from like most of their dudes were helmet cam, so they had video from like 7 or 8
yeah,
dudes on these assaults. But yeah, that it is wild
yeah,
thinking about because we all fought coin, like we all fought counterinsurgency.
yeah. It was
You
like,
did, I did, like
oh yeah,
everybody. So yeah, the
yeah,
war they're fighting now, they're like, well, we don't think this is gonna work because no one's ever done it, but we're gonna try it anyway. And then like it works. And like, all right, doctrine, and they write it
yeah.
down. It's
It's
nuts.
wild. It's amazing the just how crazy conventional it is too. I mean, now you have drones. Also, too, the one thing that's wild is like like besides the drones, what a ground war it is because they don't aviation is really like really in check because of just all
Yeah,
the anti-aircraft stuff that they have, and even tanks have been taken down so many notches.
everything
Everything's
is kind of equal except for the infantry fight. So now it's like we have all
yeah,
this technology, but it's kind of crossed itself out. So like now it's just infantry on infantry trying to take trenches like World War One, and then all of a sudden
yeah,
you have like a drone will get through the net and like hit something, and like yeah, it's wild, man. Yeah,
yeah.
if you haven't
No,
checked it out, I would
no, I
look at their
definitely will.
episodes. They're
There's
like
a couple.
45 minutes long.
There's one guy I follow, History Legends. I don't know where he's from, but Europe. But he gives kind of like a both sides. He pulls like video from both sides, and you can see the like what's going on and stuff. And so I have a good friend that's involved. I'm not even gonna say the conflict and stuff, but it's just him talking to him personally about how they deal with drones is like very. So I'm not really in tune with like the current uh American military thing, but I just watched a documentary, like a short clip about how the 101st have like these little recon teams with drones and stuff. It's like I didn't even know that existed, but I guess they have what's it, the Switchblade? Is that the anti-tank drone? Well, but they deploy out ISVs and they just send drones up and they have anti-drone drones and all stuff like that. But definitely wild. Definitely not like what we did.
No, no, like I remember when that started, man. I was in Iraq in 2015, and a drone came and dropped a grenade on our base, and everyone's like,
Really?
"What is that?" And like, there's no anti-drone capabilities. Everyone's shooting at
Yeah,
it with saws and stuff. Like, yeah, it was
that's
like the whole
wild.
thing in Iraq was it was mustard gas and it was drones. Like that was like
That's
somewhere in this
wild.
country there's mustard gas, and now they're buying drones on Amazon. They can drop grenades on you in your sleep.
Yeah. I know with NYPD, I went to like a generic counterterrorism briefing. They were talking about drones pretty early on, I think like 2012, 2011. They were talking
But
about how they have
yeah,
drones. They have drones that can, I guess, spray water for farms and stuff, and they're afraid that they would put chemical agents in there and spray them and stuff.
yeah.
Definitely,
Now like
definitely crazy
they're so
stuff.
easily accessible that people are just using them for however they want to use them. It's like the technology is changing every day. and the way to combat it still hasn't. And I saw some guys making like 5.56 rounds that have like BBs from like a BB gun in it, like .177 BBs in it, and the round is
Shred it.
actually like rubber. So as you fire it, it kind of like turns into like a shotgun blast, and it's made for drones. So you like load
Yeah,
one every other round or something, and this guy's just making them in his basement and sending them to Ukraine. Like, it's crazy.
it's terrifying, man. It's
I
terrifying.
know. Oh, but so tell us a little bit about your NYPD work. I've done a little bit of law enforcement work. I
Okay.
was an intelligence analyst for the DEA in Arizona as a
Very
third party
cool.
contractor, and then I worked counter drug for counter narcotics in the state of Michigan, doing like intelligence work and stuff like that. I did a lot of interviews on the border um, with like cartel dudes and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's probably kind of the same. Like you interview them and victims and stuff like that, and try to get like as good of a description as possible so that you can draw it. Is that kind of the gist?
Yeah, it's so some 99% of the time I interviewed victims or witnesses and stuff. Like once in a while I would talk to like a perp that was there that saw something else and stuff. I had a cold case where I would have interviewed a bad dude. Yeah, pretty much. The detective squads would call up, and I was always on call. So you get these crazy cases would come up. Like there was one case I did where these two Saudi Arabian sisters committed suicide, and they thought it was like a giant MS-13 gang murder and everything like that. And they called me up. I went right to the morgue and did it at got them to get it out there. But they call me up, special victims, homicide, any of the number of detective squads from the precincts call me out, tell me, give me a quick brief. They bring the victim in. I would never talk about the crime at all. The whole thing with me is just to get them as comfortable as no stress, because like they have to relive a piece of what just happened to them so I can find out what the guy looked like. And if you calm them down and you have that rapport with them, you'll get all the details. And sometimes I caught details that the detectives doing the initial interview would miss just because, they're a lot more calm and everything like that. So what I do is I interview them, kind of get an idea what the perp looked like. I'd actually do like a little doodle, like eyes, nose, kind of get like characteristic of them. We make them go through old photos, mug shots from the 70s and 80s, books, and we had boxes of photos, and all based on age and race, so male, white, 20s, 30s, whatever. They pull it out and they pull out pieces of it, kind of like Mr. Potato Head. They'd find, oh, I like his eyes. Okay, so why do you like his eyes? Oh, they look like this. His nose. Kind of get it together. Oh, he was wearing a Kango hat. I Google Kango hat. Let's get the exact hat. Hang out with them. When they were done with that, I would take all those elements and put it together and do a hand drawing. Then I would reveal it to them and then see the reaction. Sometimes, they'd be like, that's total dog shit, looks horrible. No, I'm kidding. But sometimes they'd be like, that's exactly him. Don't touch it. Sometimes they'd be like, that looks good, but bring the ears back or do this and that. We go back and forth to get as close, and some people would know exactly what it was. Sometimes people had like a foggy, remembrance of what the guy looked like. So you just had to work as best you can, and get something as close as can be, and then they give it to the detectives. They put it out there in the media. That's another awesome thing is you see your work, and like as I'm drawing, like the picture's almost talking to me, like you're never gonna catch me, man. And then you see it out there, and then when they actually catch the guy, you see how close it is. And I had a lot of really cool cases, and we're able to bring justice for those poor people that had those horrible crimes. Because I did some like children that got molested, sexually assaulted, rapes, attempted rapes, all types of stuff. And but it was great to have that artistic skill that I use as a hobby. Never thought it was gonna be anything. Had it in my back pocket, and then later in my life, being able to bring it out to help people, it was very rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I wish I had that skill. That's an awesome skill to be able to use in such a good light, dude. Like,
Yeah, very very fortunate. Just all worked out. I
I
did
like to
that for like
pretend I'm an
8 years.
artist. Draw like a stick figure. I'm like, man, I'm good.
So
So I'm looking. Still going through your page. The
it's,
Star Wars
it's
stuff. You're a
endless.
Star Wars fan.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So
I went
that
I went to Universal for like the first time in like 20 years, like last year, and I did like the whole lightsaber thing. And that
oh
painting
yeah, yeah,
behind me is like the one I got from the
that's
lightsaber thing.
awesome.
But
Yeah, we did the same thing, and it was by luck to get that. Like we went in there and did like a standby, and they literally like texted us like when we
oh
were on.
yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
do like the make the appointment thing.
no, like we couldn't. It was like sold out. So we went in there and they put us on standby. So then we had to go on the big ride, Rise of the Resistance, and wait like 2 hours to get on the ride. So I looked at everybody. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we getting off this ride to go do the lightsabers? And they're like, no, if it does, we'll cancel on the lightsabers, whatever. As soon as we get on the ride, they send us a notification like we have to be there in like 20 minutes. So we did the whole ride, got off, ran, got there, and ended up getting the lightsabers and stuff. So it was actually a really cool experience. The kids all liked it and stuff.
Yeah, they really build it into something. It's not like you just go in there. It's like
Yeah,
build a bear workshop. And you like put all the shit together and then just walk out with it. Like there's like a story and like they talk about it.
it's
Yeah,
like they sneak you in there, don't let the Empire see you and shit.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, all right, man. What color did you pick? What color?
I did purple.
I did purple. Man, you're
Yeah,
a
I did
nice one,
purple.
dude. I did
Yeah,
green, man. I was like,
yeah.
I was a Return of the Jedi kid, so
But no,
that's
like
about
I
it.
was just like, cause I walked in, I was like kind of looking like what everyone else was kind of like picking. I was like, I want to be a little different. I saw some. They have a bunch of them now too, though. Like
Mm,
you can only pick what like blue, green, red, purple
I
in
think
the
yellow, maybe.
yeah, and then but yeah, you go out in the store and they have like all the other colors that you can
Yeah.
pick. So that I one of the guys we were with, he like grabbed like all the colors.
It's funny when you actually turn them on, like who the hell in the room's got red?
Yeah, all
There's
the
a lot of
noises it
red,
makes.
man. A lot of red in
Yeah,
there. That's so
yeah,
funny.
it was. Yeah,
I was like, wow.
I was I was playing with it for like a week afterwards too. Like
Yeah.
yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she was just like watching me like you're a child, just running
Yeah.
around the house with the lights.
No, it was a cool experience, man. They really did a nice job there. Like we went to Disney for 4 days. We spent two of them at Hollywood because like the reason why we went there was just go to Star Wars, really. And just like the setting and just sitting in there and you're very enclosed and you feel like you're there and stuff. It was really freaking cool.
I like that whole like they built a city, like a Star
Yeah,
Wars city there, and that place is sweet. They have like bars and like food places, and it's all everyone's in character all the time. Yeah, I had a great time.
yeah, no, it was a piece. I mean, I wish they would have done like an old trilogy, like Tatooine or something, but they did. It's good. You know,
Yeah, no, Tatooine would be actually or Hoth. I
was
love.
was
I think
yeah, all
Hoth is my that's like my
yeah.
childhood like battleground. Like,
Oh yeah. Like I used to recreate that whole thing with like the AT-ATs and the snow as a kid and shit.
yeah,
No,
and
it's
then
good stuff.
then that game, oh, Battlefront
Yeah, really
came
cool.
out, and they had a Hoth thing, and it was just like
Yeah,
Empire on Rebels. It's just all this. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. That's what like, but like one of the things that was one of the things that my my page started gaining traction is I had this idea. It's so like in like 2018, like vet bro brands are starting to come out, and like what's the one thing that everybody does? They do skeletons. So the one thing I love about this everybody does it to death, but the thing that's cool is like you got a military guy and then you have a skull, like the strikingness of just like the white skull, how like different it is. So I was like, oh, I did that with a stormtrooper. So it's kind of goofy. You take a guy like a soldier with infantry guy with a stormtrooper helmet, but if you gritty it up and like make it like like this dead guy on the ground, blood everywhere, and like
it
try to give it
fits.
that
Like
realism, it fits. So I did this one picture called Up to No Good, and it's just a bunch of stormtroopers like hanging out with like 240 Bravos and M4s and stuff, and like put it on Reddit. It had like 60,000 likes in like one day. So I started doing that, and then like one of my friends was like, "Oh, you should put that on a shirt." So I put it on a shirt, and it just kept going there. So I kept doing all these like clone troopers and stormtroopers and like realistic, environments and stuff. And it's funny though. Some people are like, "Oh, it's the evil empire. America's the evil empire," and I'm like, I just did it because it looks cool, man.
yeah,
It's
man,
just
leave it
like
alone, dude.
it's
If you
just
put a rebel guy out there, no one's gonna know it's a rebel guy. He knows the
oh,
stormtrooper because he has a
oh, it's
fucking
so
helmet,
funny.
man.
So and it's so funny though because originally I was like, I'm not doing any rebels and stuff like that. But like, too many people kept asking, so I'm like, I do rebels and stuff. But originally, I was only doing original trilogy stuff. I'm like, because that's what I grew up with. And then I was like, all right, I'll do Clone Troopers. So I did Clone Troopers and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
cool, man.
the clone troopers look good. Plus, I mean, it's
Yeah,
the
they're cool.
same.
Yeah,
I like
it's
I I like the looks like the Battle of Mogadishu, the Gothic Serpent one you did with
oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
Was it
that
with
was
the
good.
crash site?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so funny. So I actually had a good friend help me out. He's like, oh, he was a medic in the 75th, and he's like, oh, you should do this and this and that. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I did that. Yeah, man. Black Hawk Down was a big part of you my early military career. With
oh
the
yeah,
movie came out and everything, and the book and stuff, and then throughout my time, I've had, became friends and known a couple people that are actually there for it. But that was a big impact on me.
Well, growing up, that was kind of like the last big battle everyone knew about, and a movie came
Yeah,
out about it, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Black Hawk, I was alive for that," and
yeah,
Saving Private Ryan's so far in the past now, it's like nobody
yeah,
remembers it. Nobody remembers
yeah.
like D-Day and stuff like that. We were talking about that the other day at work. What was the first war movie you think you ever watched?
So like my dad is into like old movies all the time. So I would probably say like one of my and it's an old one. It's one of my favorite ones. Kelly's Heroes. I would probably
Oh,
say it's like
dude.
it's one of the greatest fucking movies ever, man.
Yep.
Friggin'
Clint
all star
Eastwood.
cast, Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland. Just
That was
loved it.
no one's seen that movie, man.
It's
Like
so good, man.
it's an out there one though. Like no one's seen it. It's a great movie too.
It's
I mean, it's
so
kind of
good.
wild. Like if you think about the premise of it, it's kind of wild. But
Yeah. I went down the rabbit hole about like the production and stuff like that with the movie and everything, but I'm trying to remember if there was actually anything like that really happened like that, but it definitely didn't happen. They'd made a movie in the 90s, Three Kings came out in 98, and it was kind of like a play on that because they were stealing
yeah,
gold from Iraq and everything. And if you ever watch that movie again, Three Kings, there's a lot of things that are said, like political statements in that, that do not hold up at all. So interesting. I definitely encourage people to go back and see how that movie aged, but because it deals with the 1991 invasion and
yeah. I like it.
flash
I
forward
like
to
it.
that.
It's a Mark Wahlberg one, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah, and George
what Ice
Clooney,
Cube,
Ice
yeah.
Cube, yeah, Spike Jones. Or I think Spike Jones is in it,
A
but
random kid that's in like all the '90s horror movies that dies.
yeah, yeah, Kelly's Heroes is awesome. Really cool. They filmed it in Czechoslovakia because at the time they actually had they still had Sherman tanks, so they used tanks in that. And then there's two Tiger tanks in the end of the movie that are just replicas built on old T-34 Russian tanks, and those two tanks were actually used in Saving Private Ryan. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
a little movie note. You could see them and stuff. But yeah, it's a great movie.
I
But
was I was wondering where it was filmed. I was looking at it. I thought it
yeah,
always looked like Italy to me.
Yeah,
I
it's
was kind of looking at
Czechoslovakia.
it. That
Because
makes
like
sense. That makes way more sense.
the last battle's awesome. They like have to attack. There's like a German garrison. And they're trying to sneak in, and there's two tigers protecting a bunch of Germans, and they all sneak in there and have a nice, nice good old fight. But definitely a great movie. Clint Eastwood's awesome in it. You got Don
I thought you were gonna
Rickles.
say like when you said old, I thought you were gonna say like The Longest Day or like A Bridge Too Far or something like
No,
John
so
Wayne.
yeah, yeah. No, so Bridge Too Far is one of my favorite all time movies. Another movie, all giant cast, and it's just an epic
Yeah,
movie. There's so many good stuff on there. There's a ton of awesome like historical things about it, and they did an amazing job on that. Great actors. You got what's his name?
I got an out there one.
Go ahead.
Same time frame as Kelly's Heroes. Uh, Where Eagles Dare.
The
You've
DVD
seen
I
it.
actually own is yeah, it's a
It's
classic,
so hard to
classic classic one.
find.
I bought it as a two pack with Kelly's Heroes. So like the one thing I don't know if you've noticed, but like all the streaming services, all the classics, they want you to buy. It's so obnoxious. Like I have like seven streaming services, and like I can't watch Lethal Weapon 1 for free. Same thing with Kelly's Heroes. So I ended up buying it on Amazon, and it came with Eagles Dare. It's a great movie, man. So good. Dirty
Who is
Dozen's
that?
awesome.
Robert Mitchum. Oh, Dirty
Yeah,
Dozen. Yeah.
Dirty Dozen's fantastic, man. It's all in that era. But yeah, Bridge Too Far is excellent. There's a lot of good war movies.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I've been looking for that movie, but I like growing
It's
up
on
we didn't have
Amazon.
Amazon, so I was just
Yeah,
like oh, I gotta go to Best Buy and like look for a movie.
yeah.
Once
Best Buy is
one
nothing now. It's like you
yeah
go in there,
yeah
it's none.
yeah
But
Blockbuster's gone, rip.
yeah, but there's so much out there. But yeah, there's a lot of good movies. And then you got Vietnam, World War One. So I'm a big like history buff. So like I'm always and like anytime I watch a movie, I'm always like, what's the real story? I try to gauge like how it really was because they take cinematic approach to everything. They
Yeah,
change bend the rules a little bit. You know,
I mean it's harder to do that now because everyone knows everything about everything. So it's like
that's the thing, man.
13 hours. You better be right about what you say in 13 hours.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's Lone Survivor.
Yeah,
I saw it in the theater, and now flash forward, not to get all into it, but it's like it's a little different than what happened. It's honestly it's a disservice. So just call it. There's been a lot of drama in the vet bro community recently, and it's just like tell your story. Like you don't have to make it into what it's not.
Yeah, we that's one of our big things is I don't know if you're a VFW guy or not. I am personally not, just
Mm-mm.
because like, you go to a VFW and it's like I'm the youngest one there by like 35 years
Yeah.
or 40 years. There's a lot of I don't know, like the Vietnam dudes got talk shit to by the World War II
Well, yeah,
dudes.
yeah,
World War II dudes got talk shit to by the World War One dudes,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
Vietnam dudes like, oh, I gotta talk shit to somebody, but we can't talk shit to Korea. So they talk shit to the Gulf War guys, but so now it's like everyone there is like real old Vietnam, middle-aged Gulf War, just kind of crusty. So a
Yeah.
lot of vets just don't really go anymore, like just because you could go to a
Maybe.
regular bar and not have someone talk shit to you.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I don't need that. It's just, but
Yeah.
it's so funny, like the whole like there's always a bigger fish. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh, 100%.
this guy, were you in the 101st and Bastogne having 88s blow trees in half?
Yeah.
Level blow trees in half? Like, nah, man. Like, relax. And also too, like, not to get crazy, but like some stories are terrified. Like
Yeah.
how many Force Recon Marines did you run into? How many Green like so like now that's kind of been like now you can Google somebody instantly and find out how full of shit they are and everything like
Yeah.
that. So, but yeah, I could see the certain groups of people just being out of control.
But I went to like well, they need to be updated. I went to I think it was a Legion, like an American Legion in Bozeman, Montana. I was out there for some army thing, and Bozeman's actually really cool, which did not expect. That place is actually super updated, really nice. If you haven't been, I strongly recommend. It's gorgeous. It reminds me of like Afghanistan with like the mountains and stuff like that,
Mm,
except no one's trying to kill you.
hmm.
And it's super Yellowstone oriented now, so like a lot of stores have that Yellowstone thing, but there's not as much tourism as you'd think there'd be.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous, and we went to this Legion, and it's like they just they took like a regular cool bar, they put a bunch of like updated stuff into it, and then they just opened it as a Legion. It's a super awesome place, and I was like, man, I would be a regular here. But a lot of VFWs, it's like they don't want to update it, they don't want to change their ways, they don't want to put money in anything. They're like, man, we've had the same pool table since 1938, and we're gonna keep it that way. And
yeah. And then
and it's unfortunate.
it's gonna go by the wayside, and then guys like us when we get a little older, I guess we'll pick it up if we if there is. But I wonder how that works. Like so when I was in the police department in NYPD, there's a lot of fraternities, and the NYPD is very really pro-military. They do a great job with the military. But there was a VFW fraternity and an American Legion, and then like for some reason the VFW one just kind of like folded up, and then the American Legion took precedent and became the big thing. Just things change, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just not cool. Like we were talking about, how things are, cool. Like it wasn't cool to be a nerd in the '80s, but now it's cool to be a nerd. Like
But yeah, man.
it's just not. VFWs aren't cool. They don't have anything to give to like the younger generation of vets. Like
Yeah.
either going to have to start something new, or the VFW is going to have to change, or they're going to die, which is unfortunate because it's been an institution forever. But
So also too, like you have to be as a veteran of a foreign war. So like World War
yeah,
II, you had massive amounts of veterans that came back. That were in conflict, and now you know the GWAT's pretty much wrapped up. I mean, it's still like little pockets of it, but like now you just don't have that. Even our culture is all from 20-year conflict. That
yeah,
there's a lot of people that came out, but now it's not as much anymore. Now it's you could see it in the the leadership. Like who's got a CIB? Only E7s and above, E8s and above. It's like who's seen combat, who's done this and that. So maybe that's part of it too.
yeah. No, I mean the other way, because when we got in, like, um, a lot of the senior leadership was those guys in the late 80s and 90s that had no deployments and
Yeah,
really, they just kind of skated through their entire career. Now they're sergeant majors, they're BCs, they're, 06s and above, they're generals with like nothing on their sleeve and nothing on their chest. And you're like, how did that happen? But they're making
yeah,
decisions at a level that impacts, you know, vast swaths of the army. And I remember that was a huge issue for probably like 10 or 15 years. Is like you had all these dudes making decisions that had never had to make decisions because they were peacetime vets.
yeah.
So like, but now we're the opposite. We have like a ton of combat vets, but they don't want to stay in the military because it sucks. So it's
Yeah,
like, so
it's,
everyone's
it's
getting out.
yeah, it's hard, man. Like so a lot of my leadership was Desert Storm veterans. Like my lieutenant colonel, he was a Desert Storm. He was like I think he was a lieutenant, and so but yeah, you're right. But that's the thing is, man, you go to war with what you got, and it's just like it all kind of rolls out.
Oh, I mean, my last deployment was just 2 years ago. I think all the squad leaders had CIBs or had been in combat, and that was it. Like none of the PLs, none of the. I mean, the first sergeant had, and the commander had. Other than that, it was the squad leaders.
Mm,
E5 and below, no
yeah,
deployments, no nothing. So it's kind of wild, like them seeing all this stuff for the first time, and all the squad leaders are like, "All right, come back down to earth, man. You still got a job to do. Like everyone chill."
yeah,
But it's weird just seeing like entire companies, like 100 dudes, just experiencing that for the first time together. It
yeah.
was like reminiscent of like early Afghanistan.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I never went to Afghanistan, so all I know is Iraq. I did. I actually did. I had a break in service like a year and a half when I became a cop, and then I went in the National Guard just for 2 years. Well, first and 69th as a local infantry in the New York National Guard. But that same thing there. Like I would say half of the company that I was in was people that had two, three combat deployments, and the other rest had no deployments in the National Guard. There were some National Guard guys that deployed in '04 to Iraq, but a lot of them had kind of gotten out. So it was like it was an interesting dynamic. You have half the whole company is like active duty, multiple deployments, and then half didn't have anything. So, but you gotta do what you
The
gotta
guard's
do.
wild, bro. The
What?
guard's nuts. The guard is
Yeah,
crazy, dude.
man. Yeah,
You're
man.
like, oh, I'm gonna sign up
Uh,
for this thing, and then you deploy to Afghanistan and Iraq 3 times, and you're
so
like,
yeah, you went there with the National Guard.
yeah, I did 2 guard deployments and one like private deployment.
Okay.
And so my first deployment, I deployed with the 101st to Iraq. Second deployment was private, and the third deployment was the guard. Um, and that was all like the landowners was the guard. So like,
Yeah,
we weren't
yeah,
under anybody or whatever.
yeah. Who were you? What 101st unit were you attached to? 231. Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to. Like when I was in '05, I was in Samara. We got relieved by the Rakasans. I forget what they are. 256.
5. So yeah,
So,
2-5. Yeah,
Rakasans.
that was the Blackheart Brigade was the one I was under.
Yeah,
But
that's
my
cool.
guys, one of my buddies I met here, he's a rock. He's got the tattoo on his leg and
Oh
everything.
yeah,
And
they all do. One a
yeah,
cop I worked with.
yeah,
So like
I
my
make
squad,
fun of them so bad.
my squad leader was a 101st guy, and he was a Rakasan, and he's just like, oh damn, they're coming to fucking the city. They're gonna put Rakasan spray paint everywhere. And like we go because we were in a patrol base, so
Yes, they are.
we're leaving. We go back to the fob, the stage to fly out of the country. And so I remember coming into the fob, we're like, what the fuck happened? There's like Rakasans everywhere. Rakasan, this is sprayed. It's so funny.
We so they came to Michigan once, um, because we have that training installation up north, Camp Grayling, and they were trying to make it a mobilization place for a while, and so they were doing like a kind of like a JRTC type thing there with guard units and active duty units, and the guard was kind of playing like the OPFOR, and the active duty units would come and have to fight the guard in the woods and shit. Well, the Rock, being the Rock, brought their
Yeah.
yeah, they brought their fucking Tory, dude. Like it was like a massive 1-story wooden Tory, and they had it set up like in a parade field over by the lake. And then one night, this guard unit grabbed it and put it in the lake, and then took all their guidons from outside their barracks and put them so that just the tip of the spear of the guidon was sticking out of the water.
Yeah, should
They
have been watching it.
lost their mind, dude.
Should have been watching it. Should have been watching it.
Oh, it was so funny. Those dudes, oh, they were such dicks too.
Yeah.
It's not everybody. I know I get it. It's not everybody, but those dudes were dicks.
Yeah, it's funny.
So I did my first deployment with the Marines. So it was the Blackhearts were the landowner, and they relieved the Marine Corps. So the Marines like got set on ground, and we ended up being in this fire base, they call it, with a Marine platoon. And going into it, I had no good experiences with the Marines. Like they're always like cocky and rude, and like we'd go to a bar on like an active duty post or something, and there'd be a Marine there or whatever. He'd be like the loudest one in the room. So, but I went into it and I was like, all right, well, we'll see how this goes or whatever. We landed under artillery fire, and the Marines like came out. did not give a shit about the artillery fire. They're like, you guys need to just come on, don't worry about it. Like, if it's your time, it's your time. Let's go. So they brought us in, and they're super great dudes. Like, changed my entire perspective of the Marine Corps. Like, these young Marine infantry dudes are just like super helpful. You know, we had 26 guys, like a platoon minus, and we didn't have the ability to do like what a platoon should be able to do because of our manpower. And they were like all about helping us, all about
No,
helping
it's
us improve
awesome.
fighting positions. Yeah, and I ran over their Hescos. They would fill up every day, and then they put me in a truck I'd never driven. And I'd run over a Hesco and destroy it, and they'd be like, "Stop," and I would do it the next night under nods, and they'd be like, "Come on, man."
It's
Every
awesome.
night I run over their Hescos, and they'd fix them.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I had when we were in I was in Iraq in '05. Like we were sending people home on leave, and we were so like undermanned. They actually sent us a Pennsylvania National Guard. I think like two squads of guys to help us and stuff. So they were just doing like, I think, believe they were doing just like fob guard. And like, yo, they got brought in with us and it was a complete shit show. So we brought them in there. We're like, yo, dudes, like really nice to them. Great. And they were awesome, man. They friggin' manned up and friggin' did everything. But I'll tell you, like day 1 and 2, they're like, what the fuck? We're like, yeah, man, it's fucking real here, dude. It's real. They were a pleasure. They helped us out, with our low manpower, and they got through the summer. But that's the real deal, man. Like, there's no reason to be a piece of shit. You know, we're all there and stuff.
No, and it's always the guys who have never experienced it that are the dicks.
Oh
Like
yeah,
all the vets are like chill, and then you show up and like some private who's never deployed in his life, like 1 year in the military is like, yeah, fuck the guard, bro. I'm like, dude, those dudes have like 6 deployments on you,
yeah,
man.
man. Yeah, it's wild, right? It's like, so my son's right now. He's in the 82nd Airborne and stuff, and like he's just telling me
Nice.
yeah, he's doing good. And what do you call it? He's telling his friends in 10th Mountain they're deploying all the fucking time. You never hear about that shit, Just like you never would think they'd be deploying all over the place.
Well, they're on a oh, I don't understand it, but they're on a weird rotation now. So like they take the 10th Mountain as a division and they deploy their battalions separately. So like when I was in Syria, we relieved the 10th Mountain battalion. They relieved us, and then another guard unit would relieve them, and then another 10th Mountain battalion. So it's literally just 10th Mountain battalion cycling through Syria. So
Yeah,
like
that's wild, man.
yeah, but you have guys, in New York that have deployed like 2 or 3 times to Syria because they're doing these deployments and all their manning's leaving because who wants to deploy 3 times in 6 years to Syria,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So these dudes are all getting out. Yeah, I don't understand why they're not deploying like anyone else. I
yeah.
don't doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more units going, but I guess not.
I'm guessing it's maybe a Manning thing. I don't know. I know
Yeah,
everyone has their mission, like the second ID is stuck on the Pacific,
yeah, yeah.
but
They were saying
I don't
something. I
understand.
saw something in the news. They're gonna extend their like it's a year hardship. They're gonna make it longer or something.
What do you mean?
When you're in North Korea, I mean North Korea. When you're in South Korea, when you're in second ID, it's a year hardship deployment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like supposedly they're
Sounds
gonna
right.
make it longer to for manpower issues or something. I'll have to check it out. I saw it in the thumbnail for it.
Is that not like a? Because I don't know. Is that not a duty station anymore?
No, it is. So one of my son's friends and good friends in high school, he ended up going MI and he went over there and he just got back, but he was there for a year.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's
When I
been
was
like
a
that forever.
private, there was like you would get stationed there for like 3 years.
Yeah,
So I don't know if they still do that because now it's I mean it's different now because North Korea is always being wild, but maybe it's not the same. I know they took all the bars away.
no, it's fine.
There was I was talking to one of my drill sergeants. He was like, "Oh yeah, if any of you go to Korea, like there's this bar right in the DMZ that um, they bring you a shot in the like you try to do a shot of every liquor in the bar in one night, and it's like 60 something shots. And he's like, if you do it, you get your name up on the board or whatever. Like they tally up the 60 or whatever. So there's like 10 dudes names up there, and so like all
Yeah,
these dudes are like, yeah, I want to go to Korea. I want
people
to go
that
to Korea.
died.
Yeah,
There's tombstones for people that made it
yeah.
from alcohol poisoning.
Hey, you try
That's
before your name up here.
that's funny. Yeah, one of
Or
my
they
one
close it down.
that's wild, man. Yeah, one of my team leaders. This is before the GWOC. He was on the DMZ with second ID, and he had pictures going up to the wire because like it's all like heavily fortified, but like
Yeah.
really far down, it's like up our wire. So he has like pictures of himself like going up and cutting it, bringing it out. But it was like a real deal. So he was a saw gunner, and anytime they'd go on patrol, they come back, they had to do a mandatory layout. And he had photos of all the, they open up saw drums and lay all the rounds out. Team squad leader, platoon leader had to count all to make sure nobody shot some rounds over the friggin' over the DMZ. But that was really they wore the I forget what they wore like that old Ranger vest, the plates and stuff. But it was back in the day, man.
Wild that like now they got people trying to like cross the border to get away from North Korea.
Yeah,
Like that one dude. I wonder what happened to that guy. He like made it across, he got
but
shot like
yeah,
6 times, he lived, but like then, never heard
you
about him again.
talking about the private?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like this the skinny black dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
American guy that like absconded. Oh, last
it's
time I
okay.
heard they're gonna send him back. They're gonna like,
They're
we don't
like, we
want
didn't
this
want
guy.
you.
Yeah, we don't want this dude. That's a
Yeah,
lot. It's probably a lot. It's probably like, do we really want to fight with America over this random fucking private that doesn't know anything?
yeah. It's kind of people are crazy, man. They're out of their minds. They really are.
Well, you saw the shit about the guy from Texas who went to Russia.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. It's a great idea.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'll be a mechanic for you guys. He's a welder in the States. I'll be a mechanic for you guys. And they're like, yep, you can be a mechanic for us. We'll give you citizenship. So they did. They gave his wife and kids a list for citizenship or whatever, and immediately sent him to the front line. And
Yeah.
I guess I heard like 2 days ago he got killed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was there for like less than a week. I was like, damn,
yeah,
dude, I wouldn't trust Russia, but here we are.
yeah. It's yeah, I don't know, man. People are crazy, It's like a warped sense of reality.
Do you have a Battle Tribe page?
So not on the I have a Battle Tribe like apparel page. It's like I don't really run it. I just have it as like a fallback. But if you ever like my shop, if you just Google Battle Tribe, it pops up Etsy and you'll
Yeah,
see all different stuff there.
I just trying to find. I thought there was maybe a account, but I didn't see one.
That was like it's so hard. So like in the beginning, it's like I used my alias Matt Rendar and from Shroud's the Empire. And I never knew it was going to be anything else, so I just continued with that.
Yeah, I thought that was your name until I saw your email.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's funny that the whole thing the whole way that name came about was and was in 1996 Nintendo 64 came out and they had the game Shroud's Empire and it was friggin' awesome. So like the save file said dash Rendar and I'm like, oh. So I deleted it. I wrote Matt Rendar and that was it. Flash forward to the Phantom Menace coming out in 1999. Me and a couple of friends, we all cut school. We slept over at one of my buddy's house, and like the next morning, we went to go see the movie. So I brought my 60 Nintendo 64 over there, and they loaded it up, and they all started laughing. I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Matt Rendar? Like who will save the world from the Empire? Matt Rendar!" So they all started fucking just dogging me over it. I'm like, "Yo, shut up, shut up!" So they just kept calling me Rendar and Rendar, and it just became a nickname. And then so I met other people later on, and they just knew me as Rendar. So I actually had a guy buy me a plane ticket. We were going to Baltimore. He's like, I got you your plane ticket. I open up the ticket and it says Matt Rendar. I'm like, dude, that's not my real name. He's like, no. I'm like, no, it's Matt Klein. I had to pay money to get the name changed. So I just kept it and just kept going on. And some people they'll always know like, oh, I know where you got that name from. So I just kept it and then just, I kept it as alias while I was working the NYPD and, came out afterwards at retirement stuff.
he's still game,
What do you mean?
like
Video games?
computer and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. So I
I
like
saw your Helldivers stuff. I was like, oh,
oh
wonder
yeah,
if
yeah,
he's
yeah.
still
No,
doing
really
it.
cool, man. I'm like getting old, man. So like all I do is I'll play like one game like hardcore for a year or two, and then I'll be on to the next thing. But the game I've been playing, like I play like an addict, is Hell Let Loose. It's like a World War II
But yeah, dude,
game. I'm obsessed, dude. All I do is drive tanks and blow people up.
Hell
But
Let
that,
Loose is a tough game, man.
yo, it's a tough game.
It's I don't know. I can't. I've never done the commander thing. I don't think I could. I don't think I
Mm.
have that
I've done it
that
for a
brain
couple
power.
times, but
Yeah.
like tanking is where I'm at. Like I can run a tank by myself really well, and if I have a crew with two other people, I'm like pretty savage.
What do
I'll
you
be in.
play on?
I play on the Xbox, so it's multi-platform, whatever. So
Yeah,
I kill.
I'm gonna have to
But
add you, dude. I'll play Hell. Yeah, I'll play
yeah,
Hell Let
man,
Loose
yeah,
with you.
yeah,
I still
yeah.
gotta download it, dude.
Yeah, it's really good, but like I was playing with my son and me and him were infantry and we're like running through a field. He's like, "Yo, Dad, I'm really fucking scared." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's bad. We're taking fire and stuff. The Germans are
It's
shooting at us from the woods and shit."
it's a rough game, dude. It's like
Yeah, man. But the thing is, like, the satisfaction, like
Yeah, it is. Okay.
I'm in
It.
Kursk driving in a Tiger tank, and I like take out 16 tanks. It's like, yeah,
I mean,
it's
sometimes it seems like a running simulator.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes like when your outposts are gone and you have to spawn on like the headquarters, and you're just like, great, now I have to run 3 miles to like get to the front line.
I like that's the one thing I like. I just like the scope of it, And if you're like you're a dismount and you're like on an objective hole, and then like a tank shows up, it's a big fucking deal. You're like, oh, as I'm like, if I'm commanding a tank, I'll be driving. I'll be like, hey, squad leaders, any enemy tank pings in the area, and like people like, yeah, some guy down the road sees it, he'll put a ping on there, and then like, I'll try to get side armor and stuff, and like it's really cool. And like I wasn't a tanker in real life, and especially now, I would never be a tanker.
Yeah.
So like getting to do that is pretty cool. But the stakes are really high, So
Did you ever play Sandstorm Insurgency?
no, I heard it was pretty good.
It's the same thing. It's Hell Loose,
Yeah,
but it's an insurgency like coin fight, and it's. I don't think there's any vehicles. Oh, there's trucks. There's like technicals and stuff, but oh,
yeah,
it's really fun.
yeah.
I'll
I
have to
played
fucking
squads
add
a
you,
little
dude.
bit. I played squads a little bit. There's a couple. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Did you
It's so good.
did you play that Ewok hunt, Battlefront
Yeah,
Ewok hunt? Dude,
yeah.
that shit is
Battlefront.
so funny. It's actually terrifying.
It's pretty funny. Nobody likes Ewoks. I've done a lot of kill Ewok artwork.
Yeah, no, I saw the Ewok on the Stormtrooper.
The target. Yeah,
Yeah.
I took some of the old military field manual, like step by steps. I have one like a scout trooper sneaking up on Ewok, like stabbing him in the neck. It's pretty cool. That's the whole thing is like play on the nerd culture with the veteran culture. So many veterans and nerds, It's just it's so
Oh, it's
mainstream
a
now.
it's a huge thing, dude. I didn't
Yeah,
know that till I went to Afghanistan. The guy in my tower, he was like, yeah, dude, do you watch anime? I was like, no. He's like, yeah, well, everyone watches anime. I was like, do they?
yeah.
Turns out they do. Like, like everyone in it was the 82nd Airborne. He's like, everyone in the 82nd watches Airborne. Like, this dude's watching Naruto in the towers. I'm just like,
That's funny.
shouldn't we be doing something?
It's funny. What my one of my best friends, he was in the National Guard. Went to Iraq in '04, but his nephew is a football player. He just got a scholarship and everything. They showed a picture of him like a football game, like sitting on the bench, and he's like a big kid, man. He's a lineman, and he's sitting there and he's playing Pokemon Go while he's waiting to go out. It's like that would never happen in the '90s.
No, it's cool now. It is cool now. And now it's like if you're not good at it, people make fun of you.
Yeah,
Like now, if you don't play video games, people are like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what do you
so
do real
fun.
life?"
Yeah, no, it's a totally different cultural change.
Well, I think we're getting up on the end of our time here. But there's a question we'd like to ask everybody at the end of our time here, and it's always neat to see the answers. If you could give any advice to incoming, like new soldiers or aspiring leaders about their time in the military or their career in general, what would that advice be?
um I would say maximize it, things suck and everything like that, make the most out of it, and like you need to, just get in there. It's, like your time, you're going to remember that military experience for so long, but it's only going to be such a short fragment of your life. You know do the best you can and just, persevere and make the most of it. Don't squander that time. you know like
Yeah, it
my
sucks.
son
It
will be like,
sucks
this
sometimes.
sucks, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what do you think the real world is? Like try being a
yeah.
cop. Like that sucks too. Like everything sucks. I'm like, you're not gonna remember that. You're gonna remember the friggin' high points and be the best you can. Be the best you can at that job. And like the thing with me is like, you like me, you hate me. There's not one person out there that'd be like, he didn't do his fucking job. I did my job, and I'm proud of, what my accomplishments, and moved on. Just be all you can be, right?
It's funny you say that. We were talking about that the other day. It seems like you forget how shitty deployments are. Like I was like after Iraq, I was like, I'm never going back. And then like 2 years later, I was like, man, it's kind of time again. And then I went again, and I'm like, man, I'm never going back. And then 2 years later, I'm like, all right, I could do another one. But like me and my buddy were like, what is that other than addiction of some kind? But like we're like, I think you probably block out most of the bad stuff and you forget a lot of it, and then you remember all the cool stuff you did with your boys, right? Like I don't remember like being in a rollover. I don't remember like being in a crash or like getting attacked or whatever. I remember like sitting around a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning, when it's piss cold in Syria, because who knew it was going to be cold in Syria? Apparently nobody did. And you're sitting around the fire with the boys talking shit. Like, I remember that. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny, like what your brain chooses to remember, and you're like, all right, I can do this again, I guess.
yeah. I'll tell you, man, that the adrenaline from combat, there's nothing like that, dude. There's
Yeah,
people, play sports, skydive, climb mountains, whatever the hell, dude. Combat, like that adrenaline, like and then coming out of it, and then like seeing other people and everybody else just looking at each other, that you survived it and stuff. Like it's wild. Definitely,
yeah, and
I had a couple
it's hard to
crazy.
describe.
It really is, and like it changes you. The whole military experience changes you. Gives you a whole other outlook on life and appreciative. That was one thing my grandfather, growing up hearing all the World War II stories, he had an appreciation for life, like how good it was and stuff.
But yeah, after seeing most of the worlds that we've seen, like, I don't talk shit about this country. Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
got our problems, but we don't got problems.
yeah. It's sort of like that was one of the sad, tragic things with my life was coming out of Iraq and then going to the streets of New York and seeing how people are. And it was just like, really? Like, this is it? Like, you guys have everything, and this is what
Yeah,
you know, but, you got to get over it and just understand what it is and move on. But it is wild seeing all the different aspects of life.
like you said, people take you for granted, especially when they don't know anything else. All right, Matt. Well, it was great talking to you.
Good pleasure.
I wish you good luck, and if there's anything we can do to help you out with this crazy alien world that you're building for a tabletop game, you let us know, because I'm
Yeah, just
interested. I'm
just keep an eye on Instagram and
I'm
more to
extremely
come.
about it, dude.
No, it's pretty wild, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a complete pleasure, man.
Incoming, incoming, incoming.